What is going on, internet? What's going on, everybody? If you do not know, I am the Masked Man for your information. And today I am answering a question from one of my subscribers, one of my listeners, um, a guy by the name of Johnny Guns. Um, and he had a bit of a detailed question for me, so I printed it out, and I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna answer his question. Now, I think I will either read the whole question or read most of it, and then I will give my commentary on it. This was pretty much a response to an earlier video that I did called the New Year's Eve. The New Year's video. I did a video about the new year, and he commented on that, and he left me the following comment: Happy New Year. I'm not a planning type of person, shaking my head. Had I been, then maybe things would be better. I agree it is important to have goals. My goals remain the same in terms of staying alive and seeking contentment. Modest goals, but I guess modest goals, and you can be sure to reach them. Suggestions for a video. Subject: bloggers. My contention: bloggers want their channel to grow with subscribers. They want comments, interaction, feedback. I think more subscribers and views would lead to more comments, more interaction. So why not go out and get them? I think bloggers should have more camaraderie. I think they should follow many people on Twitter and subscribe to many channels on YouTube. They should make many comments on other channels, especially channels that have huge subscriberships with people commenting regularly. They should promote their videos in Facebook groups, battle rap forums, and on Twitter, tagging people where possible. They should tweet out others' videos and retweet videos. They should still subscribe and follow other bloggers that they are not impressed by. I think there is merit in the above. I get the impression from bloggers, I apologize for the reading. I get the impression from bloggers that there isn't merit in this because most of them don't do all of the above, and those that do some of it do it to a limited extent. I would have thought that it would do nothing but benefit a blogger to do the above. Twitter is an easy, cheap way of disseminating videos to many people. It's not like canvassing and leafing a neighborhood for hours. It's just a few clicks. Twitter even provides suggestions for who to follow. So I'm basically curious to hear from you, in commas, between commas, a blogger, why bloggers generally would choose not to do the above, and why you, saying me, specifically would choose not to do the above. It's kind of like how quickly or successfully can it being the channel, grow if you don't water it? Loaded questions. Um, what stops a blogger from subscribing to other bloggers? What stops a blogger from following others on Twitter, targeting a possible audience, etc.? Why did you start blogging? What do you hope to gain from blogging? What are you most concerned with? Subscribership, views, comments, like? What makes a good blogger? Replying to comments, good content, audio, video, engaging character, etc. I ask these questions and suggest this topic because it is something that, okay, the rest of this is pretty much unimportant. That's pretty much everything, and I don't want to say the last part because I don't really know that that's relevant to the video. Okay, so that was the question I received, and I appreciate the question, and I would ask that anybody besides the guy who sent me the video, and anybody in the future who would watch any of my videos, to feel free to send me any questions you like. I will answer virtually anything except relationship questions, because I'm not the guy you should be going to for that. But I will answer any question, and you can find the email below, and I will give the email at the end of this video if you stay to hear the end. Now, to before I get started, I I touched on this a little bit in the video I did on opinions, and I said something along the lines of, if somebody came to me and asked me, well, how do you become a successful, YouTuber, a successful blogger? How do you get to a point where you earn enough money to support yourself exclusively off of YouTube, off of money or revenue that you make either on a YouTube channel, Daily Motion, Instagram? Like, how would you how would you elevate yourself to the level of the average income to where you wouldn't have to work a regular job just making videos? And my response to that is, if you came to me and you asked me that question, I'm not qualified to give you an answer. I don't have the formula. I don't have the format because I don't have the experience. I can look out into the landscape and I can see who is out there, and I can attempt to reverse engineer what they did. But anything I told you, anything I said to you would be my interpretation of what they did to get to where they are, not what I know how to do to get myself to a higher level, which presumably I must want, because if I didn't want my opinions, my message, my words being spread out, to a large audience, then I wouldn't post my comments on the internet. I wouldn't show my face, which I couldn't personally do, but just theoretically, I wouldn't show my face. Like, I don't have the technology to have a photograph of somebody else, like, I don't have that type of technology. It's either this or it's me just holding up a picture in front of my webcam. So I don't have the capacity. I don't have the capacity to properly answer the question of how do bloggers become successful. So it's really irresponsible of me to stand in the position of the guy who gives advice on what people should do to be successful. But that wasn't exactly specifically your question, or what your question was about. Your question was pretty much about strategy, so I will deal with that. Bloggers want to grow their channel. They want comments, interaction, and I think more subscribers will lead to more comments, so why not go out and get them? Okay, bloggers should have camaraderie. Well, I'm framing all of this in terms of me, and I'm basing this all on me because I got the question. I think that it makes sense to have strategic relationships. I think in certain instances, it makes sense to have strategic relationships. Now, you say that people should follow many people on Twitter and subscribe to many channels. They should make comments on other people's channels that have a large subscribership, and people commenting regularly. They should promote their videos, and they should shout out or retweet other videos. Okay, now I'm not really somebody who wants to give my life story, at least not at this time, because it would be one of the most uninteresting and boring life stories in the world. But what I am, or what I've always considered myself to be, is a guy that likes to take pragmatic steps. And as I look back in the past and see the mistakes that I've made that have led me to the point where I went through all the schooling and I'm thousands of dollars in debt, you know, trying to follow the advice of fools, then it makes me want to conserve my energy and conserve my efforts and really focus on making moves that matter. Now, I thought about doing the following many people on Twitter and subscribing to many channels. Now, let me tell you what happened, or not exactly what happened, but what I did recently. I was scrolling through my channel about a week ago, and I saw in like the suggested videos, like the videos that pop up, you when you click on a channel, like for example, you would click on like a Jeremy Johns, you would click on his channel, and off to the right hand corner you would see like a list of other channels where you can also go to get similar reviews, where you can go to get, similar kinds of videos about a similar subject base. It's automatically generated. Well, when I was looking at my own, I saw a couple of people that I was subscribed to, and then I saw this gay dude. Now, not to be disparaging of gay people, and I think that this was like, a conscious brother, somebody who talks about, social issues or whatever and has his own perspective. But I was like, I've never really listened to this person before. I think I may have seen one video. If I'm getting the gentleman correct, I may have seen one video that he did with two other females sitting next to him, and he was talking about Raven Simone. And I appreciate what he's saying, but I don't want people who watch my channel to think that, I that we do the same thing. We don't. We don't do the same thing. He does something, he does what he does, and he has his audience. He's bigger than me. He's much bigger than me. And I do my thing. And, I looked for a couple of seconds to see if I could, X out, click off of that. And the only thing that I was able to figure out in my ignorance of how YouTube works was to just disable that. And it had a little pop up where it said, if you disable this little link, then other channels won't feature your channel in their subscription. And I thought about it for a second. And I said, man, I am trying to turn this into a career. I am trying to make this thing popular. So do I really want to make it to where other people don't see my channel when they watch other channels? If I get more and more popular, and that sort of thing will matter. And I thought about it, and I said, you know what? I think I do. I think that as far as following many people on Twitter and following subscribers, that may be an adequate strategy for becoming successful on the internet. That may be a very, intelligent strategy. But let me show you something. Now, I'm broke, and people don't really comprehend, or I don't know if they give a damn about how broke I am and how much money I don't have. And for me, a guy who's broke, who's being supported by family, who's basically, when I get a little money, I try to be as economical as possible. This is my cell phone. This is my cell phone. Most people don't have a cell phone like this anymore. You probably didn't know they still made these. This is what I'm working with. This buttons. You probably haven't seen a phone with real buttons in 10 years. And I got one because I don't have money to waste, nor do I have time to waste. So when it comes to the internet, when it comes to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, all of those forums, I got in very, very late. As of this moment, I only have a Facebook and a Twitter. And I only ever got a Twitter to promote my YouTube channel. Because if I didn't have a business, if I didn't have business to attend to, I don't I personally don't have any interest in playing around and talking about the things that people talk about on social media. Because if it ain't building, if it ain't helping my life, if it ain't working for my life, then I don't have any interest. So I acquired those things in order to assign a value for giving my opinion. So now my opinion is not something that I just disseminate carelessly in order to kill time, just because I don't have anything better to do, but it's a business strategy. It's a strategy to build up my business, which is blogging, which I simply do on YouTube for now, which is the purpose of me starting out every video with "Hey Internet" instead of "What's up YouTube," because I may diversify once I get the technical know-how and the technical capabilities. Now, one thing about blogging, there can be many strategies that a person could take. And my whole strategy when it comes to doing this is authenticity. I want to be authentic and I want to be sincere and genuine in what I do and what I say. I don't want to be perfect. I don't want to be the authority. I'm not no comedian. I'm not here to I'm not here to be one dimensional. I'm not here to always be serious. I'm not here to always have fun. I'm not here to always do whatever. I'm here to be a full human being, and present the full spectrum of emotions, the full spectrum of class and ghetto-ness, everything that a real person would do or say. I may be dead wrong some days. I may be spot on some days. I may be full of hatred and bigotry one day. I may be the black Mr. Teresa the other day. I don't want to come off as bipolar, but I want to have the full spectrum of how a real healthy person would be. I'm not trying to create some fictitious persona. I know you may hear the name TheMrMaskman and think, "Oh, here's a guy who is creating some sort of character. He's playing some sort of role. Like this is some kind of thing that he's doing to become something." No, I identify with the name "The Masked Man" more than my government name. It's what I identify with because it speaks to different levels and different parts of my actual life. So my whole purpose in blogging is to establish a brand based on me and to be able to grow and improve and engage with people based on who I actually am and what I actually think, legitimately, right or wrong, and we can build up together. See, I'm not trying to be like the black male Nicole Arbor. If you've never heard of her, Go type in a video called Dear Fat People. And she got a lot of heat for that. But she had been making videos for years prior to that. And she was making a different style when she got started. She was much nicer before that video. She kind of did motivational type videos. But but over the years and through collaborating with another YouTuber by the name of Matthew Sorrow, who I think she dated for a while, um, she started to understand how to alter the way that she does things and manipulate social media and manipulate the system to turn it into something to get a check. And when she did something that was offensive to somebody or that pisses somebody off, she could just step back and say, well, I'm a comedian. I didn't mean to offend nobody. I wasn't trying to make anyone mad. And then she would go right into another video and try to have a similar kind of salacious feel. Nicole Arbor is a gimmick. Now, I personally didn't find anything offensive about her Dear Fat People. I watched battle rap. That shit was like wheat bread to me. It was nothing. It was and the only reason I probably even laughed at it was because of the reaction, because I first saw the video in reaction format. I saw people reacting to her video, and I was laughing at how offended they were getting and how upset that they were getting at this bitch basically just saying common sense shit and just giving, you know, her opinion in sort of like a humorous, tone, a humorous framework. And I got really upset with people who said that she was trying to be a fake Carlin, because those are people who obviously don't really study comedy. She was not trying to be a fake Carlin. If anything, she was trying to be more like a fake Lisa Lampanelli. Don't give her credit for being a cheap knockoff of somebody that upper level. Be more specific. If you don't know a lot about stand up comedy, then you shouldn't comment on it. But that's really the crux of these 3 points. Following Twitter people, subscribing, making comments, Facebook groups and battle rap, and shouting out and retweeting all. Me personally, I'm trying to build a certain kind of brand. So I'm subscribed to channels, but only channels that I like. And I may not want, the people who follow me to know what channels I'm subscribed to. I personally don't know how to work the whole thing yet. I don't understand how to work it as well as I should. So I don't know how to separate people that I subscribe to and put them in a separate box. So every time you subscribe to a channel, it's in your main feed, and it goes down, and it's like I'll have a video and then he subscribed to this person. Well, when I subscribe to a person and it's on the front of my channel, it makes it look like I co-sign everything that person says. And that may or may not be true. I'm just following people who have ideas or who posit things that I'm interested in. I don't want people thinking I'm associated with the people who are in my related videos, and I don't want people feeling like I co-sign everything that the people I'm subscribed to, what they feel or what they say. So as far as all of this, I have to stand on my own, and I have to represent myself. This is my channel. I speak for me, and I represent me. Nobody else says what I want to say the way I want to say it, and I'm not comparable or like anybody else exactly. We all have similarities. We're all like somebody else, but I'm not co-signing people. I'm not if I don't really like somebody for real, if I don't really respect what they do for real, or even if I'm just casually interested and I believe that I may have a problem with them down the road because I can see that that person is passionate about a specific issue that I disagree with them on. So at some point we may come to a collision. I just choose to not follow that person or not, subscribe to that channel because I don't want to get mangled up in the future. So I just stay in my lane and I do my thing. And if they want to rock with me, they rock with me. And I will just catch their channel when they catch them. Um, as far as making money is concerned, what gets you money is views and how long people watch your videos. Now this video is running kind of long, so if y'all want to jump out and go somewhere else, I'm answering this person's question as completely as I can. But it's the 26-minute mark, and I don't know how much longer this video is gonna go. Um, um, you think it would do nothing but benefit a blogger to do the above, and it's a cheap way of disseminating videos. Okay, that's kind of what I want to talk about. You talk about it's not like canvassing or leafing. You are correct. It is not like canvassing or leafing. But I want to address a popular misconception about the internet in general. A popular misconception. Being a guy who has, been a loyal watcher of YouTube, who really appreciates the internet for giving a lot of, free movies and content back when the downloading game was official, before they took a lot of websites off the internet and confiscated, people's URLs because it was killing the movie business. Back in the day when it was more like the Wild Wild West, I really fucked with the internet. But back in those days when it was getting real strong and real popular, a misconception arose, and it's still prevalent. And a lot of people believe this, and I want to address this. People believe that the internet is a fast form of communication. People believe that the internet is a fast form of communication, that it is a fast, efficient form of communicating with people. And I want to tell you from somebody who really, who really, who's very serious about expedience, who's very serious about things happening, things popping. I can tell you that the internet is not as fast as people would have you to believe that it is. The internet is very slow to somebody if they really believe that the internet is fast. You said that people should comment on other people's videos, channels that have a large, subscriber base who have a lot of comments. I've been on some of the biggest channels on YouTube, not all of them, but some of the biggest. One of the far, 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 far smaller channels on YouTube is Corey Holcomb's channel. Corey Holcomb's channel is a quaint channel, and I like his videos. I enjoy what he talks about, but he should be much bigger than he is. When you go to his videos, there are about, 50 to 60,000 views per video. Cumulatively, he says that he has had like over 3 million views, and I don't doubt it if you add up all the views together. But what you'll notice if you peruse the Corey Holcomb 5150 show is that after the first 3 days of the video being released, the comment section is dead. Maybe after the first day, the comment section is dead. It's gone. You can put any kind of comment you want. You can say anything you want. You can reply to other people's comments. You can do whatever you want, but people have moved on. They're gone. They're not interacting on the video. And that goes with Corey Holcomb's smaller channel, which I bring up because you would think people who follow Corey Holcomb's brand of comedy would just constantly want to come back and interact and flesh out these topics. They don't. They watch the video, they make their comments, maybe they engage in discussion in between in the threads, like one person commenting, then another person commenting on the same subject, and on and on. But once they exhaust their thread, they're done. They're out. They're gone. And another thing about YouTube or the internet is that you can respond to somebody. Like I sent a comment to a comedian by the name of Vanessa Fraction, and she hit me back, which I was amazed by. I was very appreciative that she hit me back because I said that you are a wonderful comedian. You had one of the best sets on Def Jam that I've ever seen in all of Def Jam history, and you came back in the rebirth of Def Jam. So I was really amazed by your wonderful set. Why don't you post up videos like on YouTube or Daily Motion so you can get some more exposure? She did not reply back to me for like a week or 2 weeks. And I sent her a comment on Twitter. And on Twitter, you can't even see what you posted to somebody in their feed. So it just exists somewhere. They got it, but it's just somewhere else. So she replied back to me and said, thanks for the love, and I'll get to working on that. But 2 weeks is a long time. 2 weeks is a long time to respond back to a Twitter comment. So if your strategy is to have an interaction with people on the internet, most of whom don't have a face, most of whom are not on the internet in any type of business capacity, most of whom who are probably spending most of their time interacting with their own social circles on their own Facebook or whatever account they're on, they probably don't have any interest in having any kind of long back and forth with you. They probably don't have any interest in replying back to you. Now, I just started making videos a couple of years ago. Now, I had a channel and I was at a low point, and I made a bunch of crappy videos, and I deleted most of those videos, made them all private, made the rest private, and moved to this channel. And then I began again. I restarted. But I've been on the internet for a while. I've been on message boards and the whole 9 yards. If you're having a conversation with somebody, a lot of times, you'll have a disagreement or you'll have an argument. It can be as insignificant as, I don't think this girl is fine. It can be as serious as, is God real? It can range the spectrum of seriousness. But if you say somebody that if you say something that people don't like, when you're on the internet, they can just ignore you. They can say, you can say something, or you can have a point. You can say something that they can't deal with, and they can take a day, they can take a week, they can take a year to reply back to you, or to say something back to you, or they can just never respond and just move on and just do other things. It's like, oh, I'm tired of talking to this motherfucker, and move on. So when people are trying to get to a certain level by mm, commenting and going to message boards and blogging and all of that and all of those things, I believe that that's an adequate strategy for some, depending on what you're doing and depending on what you're trying to promote. But realistically, that, to me, to for somebody who hasn't had any success, that seems like a long road. That seems like it would be much harder than people believe that it would be, and much less fruitful than people would believe that it would be. Now I'm gonna move on a little bit, because I think that the other issues that you wanted me to address are in the rest of your questions. Okay, like how quickly or successfully can you grow it if you don't water it? Okay, I'm gonna write down something. I'm gonna write down something for that, so I make sure that I answer that the way that I want to. Okay. Okay. What stops a blogger from subscribing to others? Me personally, I believe that I've answered that question in detail. I don't want I don't want to subscribe to people just to subscribe to them. I don't want to subscribe to people just to get this community, and then we have some type of disagreement along the lines. And I especially don't want to have to rely on somebody else to maintain my level of content, to maintain me, and then they go away, and then I'm down. I'm done, or I gotta go from scratch. I gotta stand or be in a good enough position to where I can't, wherever I am, I'm on a firm, solid foundation. And the best way I can do that is to be focused on me. So I will subscribe to people if I genuinely like them, if I genuinely watch them on a regular basis. And there are people that I do watch on a regular basis who I'm not subscribed to, just because I'm not. I may agree with everything they've said, everything they put out. I just don't subscribe. I just don't want to be subscribed to 100 different people. I just don't. I'm just not interested in looking up and going through 100 different subscriptions. I generally just subscribe to certain people that I check out all the time and go through them. Um, what stops a blogger from following people on Twitter, targeting a possible audience? I think that's a valuable strategy, and that's something I have to research. But there is something that I want to do first. There's something I want to do first before I get to targeting an audience. Now I have a few views on a couple of these videos. I have a few, and and some people may feel like I'm as good at doing this as I want to be or am ever gonna be. But honestly, what you see now is basically practice. I'm basically practicing right now. I got about I got about 100 videos done right now, and none of them I feel are at a quality or of an acceptable quality that they are worth selling to other people, or worth marketing to other people. Now, you saw my phone. This computer that I'm recording the video on was purchased end of 2011, beginning of 2012. It's 2016, and I'm using the webcam of a computer that is 4 years old and possibly has a few viruses in it. So, as far as quality of video, I'm far behind even the most basic YouTubers. The quality of the video and the sound is way below what people are used to. So even if I was giving the best quality videos in the world, I was the best speaker, orator, thinker ever, people would still people would still have to deal with the barrier of the low production. So I have to ask myself, do I really want to sell myself and market myself aggressively right now, before I've really gotten the platform up to a certain level? My ideology is, this is just practice. And if I'm building up anywhere doing practice, then I have to stay in my weight class. I can't fight with people who are much stronger than me, who are much more experienced than me. I have to take some time to learn the ropes. I have to take some time to learn the game. I have to take some time to learn what my message is, to learn how I'm going to break down every subject that I break down, because I talk about pretty much everything. So I got to have a way of doing it where I'm always consistently me, and people always want to hear, well, I want to hear what the masked man has to say about X. But it's still genuine, it's still authentic, it's still sincere, but it has my personality and my fingerprints all over it. I don't feel that I've developed that yet. I don't feel that I've developed, the efficiency yet. I don't feel that I have the level. I'm not at the level I want to be. So for me to target an audience, I don't want an audience getting turned off and turned away before I'm ready for an audience, before I have something to give them. The people who are watching me now are kind of like people who show up to like an independent wrestling show. It's like they accept the lower quality because they are really interested in the spirit of what the sport represents. People who watch my videos or who watch my channel are either interested in a specific subject like battle rap, or they are interested in like the pure YouTube spitter that used to exist, like that guy who just talks about everything, that guy who just goes in on everything. So they connect with one or the other, and I can't force myself on people who who are expecting a certain quality that I don't have. Um, Now, I think from the way that you framed that the a question earlier, you were saying something as if other people were just lazy. I don't know what their motivation for not taking that advice is. It could be laziness. But for me, I think one of the most important things in having, if your blogging is your message, and having a well crafted message, having a well crafted presentation that people are interested in the way that you present. You're very engaging, you're very insightful or opinionated or argumentative, whatever. You have something that draws people in. You have good quality, good message. You really know what you bring. You really know what you do. You really understand you, and you can be you on call, on demand, all times, at a moment's notice about almost any damn thing. And I'm not at that point. So I believe I can get there. I don't know when, but I'm still practicing and working to get to that point. So I'm not going to force it and run there and then get there and then crash and burn. Why did I start blogging? I needed a job. And I actually I actually may have a job in real life coming up soon, and that job pays $8 an hour. I'm not shitting on anything. I'm not shitting on $8 an hour, but I'm I want to live on my in a residence by myself. I want to have my own transportation. I want to eat food that is healthy and nutritious for my body. I want to have a gym membership. I want to occasionally take trips around Louisiana and get to really know my home state and do things in Louisiana. I want to travel outside of Louisiana. Get on an airplane for the first time in my life. I want to do shit. And this was the only thing that I could find that made money that I figured that I could do. It's simply talking into a camera, and if I get good at it, they pay me money. I don't have to sign my life away. It's not an application process. I don't have to wait on motherfuckers to hire me. I don't have to get interviewed. I don't have to follow a bunch of dumbass rules and some kind of stupid ass dress code, and ain't nobody worried about my hair or the way that I speak. I can just get on this thing and say what I gotta say. And if I'm good at it, and if people like it and they get involved and they're active with it and pass my shit around, and if I can get into the sweet spot, if I can get into that sweet spot, then I will flourish and I will do well. This lives or dies on my ability to do it. So it's really the only opportunity I have to get out of being poor in Louisiana. And even though I have a college degree, and it's something that I can learn at my own pace. I don't know a whole lot about YouTube or how the pay structure works or how to manipulate all the things, but it's not necessary now because I'm not doing well enough now for that to even be a factor. What do you hope to gain from blogging? Well, the way that I'm presenting myself and um, the way that I think this shit out, I want, if I walk down the street and people recognize me, say somebody recognized me from one of these videos that I made, and they approach me on the street, I don't want that person to want to get a photograph with me. I don't want that person to want to sign my autograph. I want that person to have a discussion with me as a person. I want them to speak with me about ideas. I want them to talk to me, not argue with me, not debate me. I want them to have a conversation about ideas, and we discuss ideas, and we discuss concepts, and we engage in opinions. So what I'm looking to gain from blogging is the ability to make friends easier than a normal person. Because if you walk up to somebody, you know, and you say, hey, how you doing? Let's hang out. Then if it's a woman, she may feel that you trying to holler at her. Or if it's a man, that man may think you gay. So, but if you do what I'm doing for a living, then that creates a situation where you can say, hey, I just like to discuss ideas. I like to discuss concepts. You know, do you have any free time to discuss things? And then I'll put out, an edited version of what I think. And, that'll be that. Most people are not going to be concerned that you're leeching off of them. They just like that somebody is interested in what they have to say, and they wouldn't mind. And if they have genuinely good, sound ideas, then their ideas can be applied in real life, and giving them away on the internet wouldn't take anything away from them. If you had a good idea for a business, then a business is not about the concept, the business is about the details. So if you got the idea and y'all are working out the details, I'm not dumb enough to give away, an amazing idea, but a business is about the details. So if it's like a business idea, if you ham out the details and you move quick, ain't nobody gonna be able to stop you anyway. And if it's an idea about, relationships or dating or, politics, you're not sharing them, you're not using them. Why can't I use them? So what I want to gain out of blogging is to educate myself to the highest degree, educate myself to the highest level. I'm about as ignorant of a grown man as you can possibly be without being retarded. It's like I'm extremely ignorant of things that most adult males should know. And for the record, I had a mother and a father for the entire duration until I was like 18. And then my mother died. But, it wasn't, I had like a whole thing. It's not the typical nigga story. So, but I'm an extremely ignorant person. So I want to go out and get the education that I didn't get from school and that I didn't learn otherwise. I want to get it from the folk. I want to get it. So the best way I can get it is to try to present myself in the most non-threatening, non-aggressive way, the most impersonal way, the most I don't want nothing from you way. So my angle to get to people in real life is to do some shit online. So I can get to real people that I can talk to in real life, in real time, and connect with them and build with them based on the fact that I do this. What are you most concerned with? Subscribership, views, comments, likes, etc. Okay, subscribership. I watch, like I said, I watch, many different people. If you go to a YouTube channel, I think it's called Cinema Sins. There's about that channel has about 5 million subscribers. But if you look down, most of the videos, most of the videos have they averaged 1 to 2 million views. So a lot of people subscribe and they go away and they don't watch the videos regularly. I don't think I've seen a video on that channel with 10 million views ever, or at least in a long time. So that means that of their 5 million subscribers, their 5 million are not watching any one video twice. And they only put videos out twice a week. So they can't get their whole subscriber base to watch two videos two times for 10 million views average. So subscribers don't mean shit. Like, people subscribe and then they just go away. So I have no concern about subscribers. What's the bread and butter of making money on YouTube? As far as I can tell from somebody who just started a few months ago, it's views and duration. The video that I have the most views on is the my first video, the Spike Lee trailer video. It has 1,000 views. But when I look at the analytics of the video, it says like 268. Now, before, they paid me like, now, if you must know, I've only made about $4 in YouTube so far. I'm rich, I know. But before, in the analytics, I made like $1.30. And then I looked at it recently and it's like 28, 26 cents. But then I read the little blurb and it said, legitimate views. So maybe 1,000 people viewed the video, saw the video, watched the video, but it's only 268 legitimate views. So I don't know what legitimate means, and I don't know how their system works or what's going on the back end. That requires more studying from me at a later date. But the legitimate part is like, what matters to me is getting views and getting people to watch my videos all the way through until the end. And after getting people to watch them and watch them through to the end, I care about people sending me topics. I care about people who are engaged in what I have to say. I've had people who commented on my videos. They commented once and they never came back. They never watched any of my other videos. They may have said something scathing. I responded. They didn't respond. They didn't come back. They're not a fan. They're not a hater. They're not anything. They're gone. So even comments, I want, for lack of a better word, a fan base or a viewership or a loyal audience, a large enough group of people who come to my videos on a regular basis. Once I'm at a level where I'm producing content that is watchable and rewatchable and has a production value that is of equal quality to at least the halfway decent YouTuber in terms of video and sound. But once I have that, I want an engaged fan base. I don't mind casual viewers, people who view and never comment or not subscribed and don't like or dislike. I need a large enough viewership. So if they just want to view it and they sit there and they watch the whole thing, and they come back and they watch the whole thing again, and they come back and they watch the whole thing again, that's better than a person who just commented and had a brief argument and then never showed up again. The person who never comments but watches the same video repeatedly all the way through is better in terms of making money than the person who just commented and liked and went away forever. So after views, and it would be, it's views, Then it would be engagement and likes. Likes are irrelevant. I don't say anything to be intentionally, offensive. I scale back some of what I think. I